This video is part of our series on intellectual needs. And in this last video, I'm going to be discussing something that is most important. In fact, this intellectual need is vital for our mental well-being. Any guesses as to what that is? Hi, this is Nirmala Shekhar, a coach and a body talk practitioner from Singapore, and we are discussing a map of self-care. In the last few decades, as fast food was introduced, no one could understand the connection between junk food and our physical health. But now, most people are aware of the correlation between our nutrition and our physical ease or dis-ease. Today, we need to extend that awareness to understand the correlation between our mental diet and our mental well-being. But what is our mental diet? Firstly, everything that we take in from the senses forms part of our mental diet. What we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel, touch. Everything has an impact on the brain, on our thinking patterns. And nature, in her wisdom, has placed 4 of these senses very close to the brain because of this correlation. A couple of examples. Try taking a photo that you have and looking at it for 30 seconds. Then close your eyes and think of what first comes to your mind. Chances are that image that you saw just now for 30 seconds is the first image that pops up in your mind when you close your eyes. Another example, and this most of us would have experienced, when we hear a song first thing in the morning, chances are likely that throughout the day we are humming snippets of it. What we take in impacts us, impacts our thinking, whether we are aware of it or not. When we watch the news regularly, and most news, most TV channels, most radio channels focus on what's going wrong in this world. Not just our immediate world, our country, but what is going wrong in all parts of the world. So we get very powerful images, very powerful visual representations of what is going wrong. And then we have the tickers coming down at the bottom as well. All of these are programming our mind, our subconscious mind, that the world is not a safe place to be in. Some of us become aware of that programming, but most of us are not even aware of this programming that is happening right inside us because of something that we are watching regularly. What we take in from the senses influences our inner environment. The thoughts that we think, the feelings that we have, all of these are influenced to a great extent by the inputs from the senses. And there is a phrase in IT, garbage in, garbage out. I would like to think that we can extend that analogy to say treasures in, treasures out. So the first way we can change our inner landscape is by focusing on the right inputs from the senses. Something that's uplifting, something that's positive, something that gives us hope, something that makes us laugh. All of these inputs will change our inner landscape in a very positive way. But what if we have no control over what's coming in? What is more powerful than the words we hear or the images that we see? What's more powerful than the external inputs is what we tell ourselves. The words we speak to ourselves are much more powerful than the words that we hear. And again, many of us would have experienced this. Somebody comes and tells us something harsh and then walks away. And we are left replaying that conversation continuously in our head and feeling angrier by the minute. We are angry at that person and we are angry at ourselves as well because we couldn't come up with a suitable retort or something suitable to say. In these situations, what's important is to monitor, is to change that inner dialogue. Louise Hay says it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. So by changing our thoughts, we can change our inner landscape. Let's take an example and something that most of us may have experienced from time to time. Say I'm given an assignment to do. I had 2 weeks to do it, but I kept pushing it off, and now I have 5 hours to complete this assignment. I am overwhelmed and getting angrier by the minute. I feel I can't do this. And in spite of knowing it is important, I am trying to find ways to push it off further by watching some TV or going out. All of us have experienced some form of this at some time or the other. Now, what if I were to change the thoughts that I have within myself? What if I were to take stock and tell myself, I know I delayed this till the last. I have 5 hours. Let me make the most of it. I'm going to draw upon my inner resources, my creative juices to help me finish this assignment on time. I put some nice music, drink some water, and start to work. The moment I start to work with these thoughts, chances are likely that really my creative juices are going to start flowing. I can program myself to be in the flow state, and the assignment will get done on time. The thoughts that we think shape our inner world. With the right nutrition, we can harness the enormous power of our mind to bring about happiness and well-being in our lives. With this video, our discussion on intellectual needs is complete, for the time being at least. In the next video, we will be doing a recap of the entire intellectual needs, and following that, I will be starting with energetic needs. I'm looking forward to starting that series on energetic needs. Thank you for joining me. This is Nirmala Shekhar signing off. Bye-bye. Namaste. Do subscribe and hit the bell button for more weekly content on self-care. And if you want even more actionable content on self-care, do join me in the Facebook group for weekly lives, discussions, and more tips.